Good morning. Welcome to the Namaste experience. I'm kind of hung up on that adventure idea. So, welcome again. We're grateful to have you with us this morning. I hear we're going to have a visitor pop in here shortly. It is my joy. I am Reverend Penny Honey, for those of you who might not know, and it is my joy to be here with you this morning. I have an idea. Today, I would like for us to consider the power of I don't know. Oof, that's popular, isn't it? Yeah. I love this little story, and I'm probably going to get started into this, and I may get interrupted, but trust me, I'll always come back to my stories, right? So there's this story. This gentleman had traveled a long way and for a long time. And he had been seeking. So he found a Zen master, and he went to the Zen master for his wisdom. And when the seeker arrived, he bowed deeply and he said, I've studied many teachings, I've mastered many disciplines, and now I've come to learn the final truth. So the master smiled and he started pouring a cup of tea. And he kept pouring a cup of tea. And he kept pouring a cup of tea as it ran off the table and onto the floor, and out the door it goes. And the seeker said, Stop, stop, the cup is full. And the master said, Now you're getting it. Exactly. You've come with a full cup. How can I offer you anything unless you first empty it? And the seeker thought on that for a moment or two and said, I don't know. And now the master spoke. He said, Good. Now we can begin. In the Course in Miracle, the language of this is that the moment when perception is surrendered, now the vision begins. Now we start to see. I don't know isn't the absence of wisdom. Perhaps it's the clearing that makes the wisdom possible. I don't know. How popular is that in your life? I'm not one to throw my hand up in the air and say, I don't know. I don't know. Pick me. I don't know. Just hasn't been a habit of mine. In fact, I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but sometimes there are people that suffer from the syndrome of always needing to know, feeling that they have to be the smartest one in the room or the circle, and always letting us know. Now,
Yes.
I don't know anybody like that. And look at that. Hey, James.
James Poppins, he's right here.
James Poppins.
Sorry I was a minute or so late, but I just wanted to bring all of you here because we are just now beginning our retreat here in Assisi. And we wanted to ask for a special blessing from all of you there at Namaste and all of you who are watching this, even those who are watching it on YouTube. We are together for the next number of days, just allowing the example of two people, Francis and Claire, who lived 800 years ago, who said, I don't know, but you will show me if I surrender and let you lead the way. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here over this next week, is we're going to be surrendering completely and letting the divine lead the way. So before you give us a blessing, I want to just share something, because we're literally starting the retreat right now. So I want to share something with everyone, those of you who are on Zoom and all of those who are gathered here. I looked up a quote from St. Clare and was hoping to find one that felt like the perfect introduction. So this is what I would like to open, and then we'll invite you to bless us. So this is from St. Clare of Assisi. Happy the soul to whom it is given to attain the life of Christ, to cleave with all one's heart to him whose beauty all the heavenly hosts behold forever, whose love inflames our love, the contemplation of whom is our refreshment, whose graciousness is our delight, whose gentleness fills us to overflowing, whose remembrance makes us glow with happiness, whose fragrance revives the dead, the glorious vision of whom will be the happiness of all the citizens of the heavenly Jerusalem. For in the brightness of eternal glory, the splendor of eternal light, the mirror without spot. Those are the words of St. Clare as she contemplated her vision, her version of the Christ. And for her, that, of course, was Jesus. But today, what I want us all to do, and all of us who are watching this as well, is to contemplate just one step deeper. And that isn't just the Christ in time. We could say the Christ that had a body, a vehicle 2,000 years ago, not just the one that we called Jesus, but the Christ that's within us right now. To me, this is the real mystery. How do we initiate that divine flow, just as Claire was saying? In fact, what I'll invite you to do, knowing what we just shared, that this is really all about enlivening the Christ that's within us. Listen to what Claire wrote one more time from the inner perspective, not just the outer. So one more time. Happy the soul to whom it is given to attain the life of Christ within you, to cleave with all your heart to the one whose beauty all the heavenly hosts hold forever in you, whose love inflames your love, the contemplation of whom is your refreshment, whose graciousness is your delight, whose gentleness fills each one of us to overflowing, whose remembrance makes us glow with happiness. Remembering the Christ within makes us glow with happiness, whose fragrance revives that which seemed to be dead. The glorious vision of whom will be the happiness of all the citizens of the earthly Jerusalem. For the Christ within you is the brightness of eternal glory, the splendor of eternal light, the mirror without spot. That's who you are. And this is who we will cleave to as we join together in this retreat. And yet you are here with us just as vitally in spirit. Of course, one day maybe we'll be able to share this same experience here in Assisi together. But even now, we can join together, all of us knowing that there are people all over the world who are recognizing us, feeling us, blessing us, helping us to go as deep as we can so that we can be that light on a hill that's not hidden, but shines forth for all to see, the Christ within. So, Penny, I'm going to leave it to you then to bless us as we begin our journey together. You're muted, just so you know. We're sure you're saying something wonderful, but we can't hear you. You have to unmute.
I didn't know. Oh, and how about now we do it again with feeling? We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Amen. Thank you, my dear family. You're here with us. We're blessing you right back. We're going to
Thank you.
continue. Penny, honey, I will send it right back over to you.
All right.
And have a beautiful day, and we'll touch in with you in another day or two.
All right.
Bye now.
Thank you, James. Blessings. Ciao. Ciao. Now, who else can do that before 10 o'clock in the morning? Get to a CC. Thank you. Take it in for a moment, won't you? You see how blessed we are? It is unique, isn't it? To sit where we sit. And there are so many things that can distract us from remembering how blessed we are. I had sent James a little message this morning and I said, so I really have a theory that there is power in I don't know. And he said, I like it. Let's do that. Let's talk about that. Anytime in your life have you felt that you just didn't know? And I remind you what the Course says about this again. This is the moment when perception is surrendered. When perception is surrendered. And it's not the absence of wisdom. It's the clearing that makes the wisdom possible. And by the way, those of you who think you know it all are really irritating to those of us who do. I'm just saying. Now, that wouldn't be me, of course. I have to so frequently remind myself, don't I? I have to remind myself that when I come in with a predisposed idea, and I know, and it's right there that I shut down the expression that I have the potential of being. I love this quote by Leo Buscaglia. Remember the Love Doctor in the 70s? I frequently have to remind myself, he says, that those who think they know it all have no way of finding out that they don't. That does not apply to any of us. This is for the rest of the world that will upload this on YouTube. Right? I don't know, we say. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And that is one way to look at it, isn't it? Often I hear myself say, how could I not know? How is it that I don't know? How could I not know? I should know this. I don't know if that's unique to me or not, but I always like to say that's when I start shoulding all over myself. I should know. I should figure this out. I should have this down. And as soon as I do that, I believe, for me, I slap the universe right in the face because I have limited the fact that is infinite in its wisdom. And so am I, in my oneness with that. But there is an expectation, isn't there, that we should know, especially if we care for people and we think people are looking to us for guidance or a teaching that is profound and will change your life. I never have that feeling. There is an expectation, isn't there? And that's when I remember that there may just be a little bit of ego coming in, and it is going to tell me that I should know. And when I can embrace that and redirect that to the love that I am and to love me right there in the not knowing, I start to heal. I move toward wholeness that I've always been. Now, it's a tender balance, isn't it? Between thinking we have to know and remembering that it is not I, but the Christ within that does the work. It is not I. Boy, does that take the pressure off. But in this world, knowledge is power. Some guy has the answer. I don't mean that in any kind of male anything. I'm not disking men. Somebody has the answer. It doesn't always mean that it's the right one, but because they proclaim that they know, they take the power. I invite you into that in your life. You don't have to know because it's the Christ in you that does. You might want to listen, might want to pay attention to that, Penny. And when I consider that I don't know, when I have a thought of fear that I don't know, when I stumble and I start being human like we talk about so often, it is here that I can radically surrender to I don't know. I don't know, and I don't have to know. And if I think I know, I'm probably wrong about that anyway. And I open up to that greater expression. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a time in your life that when you didn't know something, you made something up. I've been known to do that. I'll just fill in the blank with what I think is right, my perception, where I'm coming from, and probably what serves me. That's all right. Give that big old ego a hug. And like I have reminded you several times in the short time I've been here, wrap your arms around it, bring it in, say, come on over here. We need to talk. I've got some love for you. I want to free you up from thinking I have to know. If there's a place in your life that might give you some relief or peace, I'd say go check that out. Now, I was a project manager, as you guys know. I started out building houses, and then I built what we called light commercial, and then I went to big commercial, casinos and hotels and things like that. And a project manager is actually a project manager. That's what we do. We're projecting all the time. Because if that guy's late, this guy's not going to be able to blah, blah, blah. And away we go with that linear scheduling, right? It was my job to know. So when I started into this conversation this morning, last night with Spirit, and I said, really? I said, do you know how difficult it is to say I don't know when there are responsibilities and there are things that we're taking on in our lives? And they like to pay me for what I know. They don't like to pay me for what I don't know. Can I talk about that from an authentic place? And the first answer was no, I can't. I literally have indexes of my to-do lists. I have projections way out. You know that little thing on your calendar that says, do you want this to repeat? And do you want it to repeat annually? Do you want it to repeat weekly? How many of us use that? That's because we are projecting forward. I still have to plan life, but this is the catch. I can make those plans, and as I've said before, double space that calendar. Leave room for God and don't think that you know exactly what that is supposed to look like, because as soon as you do that, that lunch you have scheduled with that beautiful human being, you already have the conversation planned in your mind. My question is, what can you hear? What can you learn? Who are you in that moment? Maybe there's space for I don't know. Maybe there's space for I don't know. I believe that's when we start to make space for God. I believe that that's when we open up and allow ourselves to become what we already are, and that's divine. I do believe that's where it can happen. Myrtle Fillmore, one of our New Thought teachers, said this: in the humility of I don't know, we find the strength to trust a higher power. I was a stepmom, and I was in a really ugly custody battle for these stepchildren. And the courts decided they should go back to their mother for the time being. And I remember sitting on a curb watching the police officers force the children to get in the car because that was their job. And I remember feeling completely powerless and not knowing what to do. It is in the humility of that not knowing that I could find peace in that moment, because that wasn't easy. You've got one in your life. You've got a story in your life that you could feel the drain of your very life, it seemed, leaving you because you didn't know what to do. You didn't have the answer. And it's radical surrender in that moment. It's perfect connection with the divine and the infinite intelligence that resides within you in those moments. It's the humility that brings us back to the divine nature of who we are. And now we can move forward. And now we can make clear decisions that serve the greater good. Now we can. And as soon as I am not attached to a decision or a schedule or something that I know should go a certain way, I find peace. I find humility. I find the God in me again. I do not know what anything is for, is what we're told in the Course in Miracles. And I really don't. The conversation that rubs me the wrong way, ever have one of those? That person that just can't seem to find their pesos and pay their bill so I can move along in the grocery line? It's here. It's in those daily moments that radical surrender into, I don't know why I'm having this experience. And how about the big ones? Why are those children starving? Why are those people at war with each other? Those people. Why am I at war with myself when I argue with the greatest expression that I can be, when I deny the amazing self that I am? Why? I don't know. But in the I don't know, I can find my way back. And I can allow you to not know, which empowers you. And now I believe we live in a more peaceful world. And we come back to only love, only love, only love. In the I don't know, you will find the only love. Maybe you can use this in your day, maybe you can't. What I know is the ego insists on assigning meaning to everything because we are meaning-making machines. And if I can stop putting meaning on everything that someone says to me, and another word for meaning could be story. Now I can connect. Now I can celebrate oneness. Now I can be with you authentically, even as a project manager, even as someone who has worked at projecting. And that wasn't isolated to construction. Ministry will do that to you too. I don't know becomes a mantra of humility and openness, and it allows us to receive healing, and it reminds us to let go of the identity that we are so attached to and step back into the true identity of who we are. I don't know. By being willing to stand there, I don't know. I heal. I ask you this question today. Does what you know or what you think you know, is it getting in the way of what you need to know? Scott, would you like to share your beauty and your light and your talent with us today? I don't know. Okay. Thank you, my friends. Namaste.
Just have to get this out of my system. You're asking me, will my love grow? Everybody, I don't know. I don't know. All right. When I give up the need to know, I start to feel my inner glow. I'm blissed in ignorance and open to the magic of I don't know. I just don't know. A long time ago I ate from a tree that I probably shouldn't have. The garden, a tree of good and evil and knowledge. And then I was reinforced by school and college to think I knew what's going on. Thank God I was wrong. And I've emptied out as best I can all the things that I think I understand. I've emptied out, but every day I still gotta watch, 'cause I'll get in my way. And I don't know how I sing these songs, never know what's coming through, and I don't really know right from wrong. All I know is I love you. And to that we say, Amen, 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 e punto.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Where did it go? Oh, darling.